Well, the Miami Pop Festival is really a defining moment in our history. Many people don't know that this event even took place 50 years ago right here in South Florida.
Jorge Zamanillo, the executive director of the HistoryMiami Museum, can walk down the halls and be transported back to 1968. On May 18th of that year, thousands of people gathered for the first rock festival of its kind on the East Coast, where photographer Ken Davidoff captured the event from start to finish.
There was a lot of civil unrest, and a lot of people wanted to speak for peace and promote peace across the nation. They felt like music was the way to do this and one way to get together and unify, and the Pop Festival did that for them.
The festival took place at Gulfstream Park in the same year that Forward Pass won the Florida Derby and then went on to take the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness Stakes. People flocked to Hallandale Beach even though the weather did not entirely cooperate.
So on May 18, 1968, it was a sunny blue sky day here in South Florida, typical South Florida spring day, and the event went off without a problem. The next day, on the 19th, on Sunday, it started off okay, but little by little the day just got worse and became a downpour, and most of the acts were canceled. Because of course we know later on in Woodstock the same thing happened, and then most of that was washed out by rain, but people performed through the rain anyway.
With an incredible lineup of performers at the festival, none was more eye-catching than the legendary Jimi Hendrix.
Well, the great thing is that Jimi Hendrix was a big draw, even back then, the Jimi Hendrix Experience. And Ken Davidoff, the photographer that's featured in this exhibition, he has some amazing stories, including hearing the helicopter approach the festival. He knew it must have been Jimi Hendrix arriving. So he runs over there with his camera and he's snapping away. And he didn't realize he had dropped rolls of film with all the exposed photos already. And somebody came up to him and actually handed it to him and said, "By the way, are these yours?" So if somebody hadn't done that, we would never see these photos we have today because he would have lost them all. If you look closely, these are flatbed trailers they're performing on. They didn't have a stage, so it's a makeshift stage just with 18-liter beds.
Not only was the Miami Pop Festival an enormous success in South Florida, but it was an important reflection of the historical climate of the time, as well as a building block in the greater music scene.
The founders, Rico Berry and Michael Lang, they realized that they had something special, and they went on to found Woodstock a year later. People wanted to be heard, the music was speaking to them, at the times were speaking to them, and that was reflected in Woodstock later on. And that's a transformative period in South Florida's history, everything going on, not only internationally in the nation, but right here in our hometown.